Yeah, because there's also reserved other places. One's 5,500. Perfect. So I'll present that for her tonight. She's gonna be on there. So I can do what she can.
Sounds good.
That's good because I just looked at a result for
Yeah.
something else and saw that, and then
When I saw your email today, I was like, I guess I just typed it in wrong. But when I put
which
your
is
email,
5,000.
so I figured it was over there. She's not here, but I can really present her.
And let's just triple check if you're able to pass all.
Yeah. So one bill. Let me see. Can you pull her email you sent me? Because there was one that was talking about her, and then the RFRs are sponsored by me. So I didn't use it. The RFR is supposed to be.
bill
One of
was
you
not
guys
sponsored.
is gonna get through. So that one's accurate. That's all. When you're there was one that the RFR is by me.
All right, we ready? We're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order, and we're going to get started with open forum. Would anybody like to utilize open forum? Senator Ward, we're going to do on vacation if you're ready.
Hello. Hey guys, so obviously not going to take a very, very long time. One of the things I want to talk about today was just what we're all supposed to be student leaders, and y'all probably all got a little email about picking up your present in their involvement suite, which makes sure that y'all go do this. But anyway, you probably all got the email. That's what President did was just because he wanted to honor us as student leaders and just talk a little bit about. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about what that means. So one, when you think of a student is constantly learning, and so not only does that mean in the classroom, but outside the classroom as well. A student is constantly trying to figure out what they need to do, what their constituents want, and we as senators should be taking that on as well. Constantly trying to figure out what we could do to best serve SGA and Senate, what we could do to best serve our committees, and what we could do best as individuals. The second thing is that since we are student leaders, that means that none of us are the professors or the professionals. And so that means that we're all on the playing field, all on the team, all just trying to make sure that we're working together, really leaning into the mission of SGA, make sure we're doing it in our best way possible. And also student leader, the second portion of student leader is leadership. And so I kind of talk about what that is later with going beyond respect. But basically I just wanted to make sure that whenever we take on the role of student leaders, that we're making sure that whatever area that we go through, whether that's on Greek organizations, or at our schools, at our colleges, things like that, we're just making sure that we're utilizing that title of student leadership to lead SGA and over in Jerome better than we found it. So that's better. Thanks, God.
Would anybody else like to utilize open forum? Or Jamie, we'll turn it over to you.
Wait for this to pull up. Also, I'm loving everyone's costume so far. Some of them I don't know yet, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna let the anticipation go a little bit. Sweet. Okay, so this week we're going to have a Robert's Rules refresher on promotion. So as you know, last week we touched on obtaining the floor. So hopefully you retained the proper verbiage of obtaining the floor, and you want to utilize it to make motions. not need debate, and it must pass through majority vote through verbal ayes or nays. So majority for y'all means half plus one. The second motion we're going to talk about is tabling. So this also cannot be motion during a speaker's portion. This also requires a second. This does not need a debate, and it must pass through majority vote. Again, half plus one. Typically, this is for pieces of legislation or agenda items. So if you want a motion to table a bill, or if you want a table to motion a commendation, this is what you would say and how you would go about using it. This is a kind of an interesting one. I don't really see it used that much, but I kind of wanted you guys to know about it. It's I moved the previous question, which is I moved basically to end debate. Again, cannot be motion during a speaker's portion. It does require a second. It does not need debate. This one actually must pass through 2/3 approval or verbal ayes or basically verbal ayes or nays. So not half plus one. This is 2/3. This one is I move to amend. I feel like you guys kind of are familiar with that one. I've seen you guys use it. This is the verbiage you would use. It does require a second. It does need debate, and this must pass through majority vote. And again, majority for y'all is half of the Senate plus one. So half of members plus an additional. This is I move that we take from the table. So this is if you have tabled something during that same meeting, another member can move to take the thing that has been tabled. You can cut someone off, you can do it during a speaker's portion. It requires a second, does not need debate, must pass through a majority vote. This is kind of I don't see this used very often, but again, just wanted you guys to be aware of it. Finally, this is one that I really wanted to harp on because I see it misused, or I saw it misused in my experience. I move that we suspend the rules. This does not mean that you suspend Robert's rules and you can speak or move through the meeting however you like. This means that you are taking something out of order from the agenda. So for instance, if we are in current orders, you cannot take something from, or if you want to take something from future order for some reason, you can move to suspend the rules. It does require a second, it does not need debate, and it must pass through 2/3 vote of the Senate. Again, kind of a weird one, but do y'all have any questions about either this motion or any of the motions so far? Okay, that's the only, oh, yes.
So basically, you would just be like, when would you use it other than like moving a current order to a future order? You know what I mean? Or like a future order to currently, how would,
Yes.
what's another example of when you would use it?
Sure. So Molly asked if outside of the example that I gave, moving current order to future order, vice versa, you really can use it to move anything in the agenda to the place that you're at right now. So any piece of legislation that is not currently in the portion of the agenda we're working in, you can use this motion to move it up. If you really just want to vote on something as like in the moment, then you can use this. Any other questions? Okay, cool. That's all I have for you guys this week. And next week we're going to talk about points. Just kidding. Crap.
You have one on Zoom.
Oh, I want Zoom. I don't know how to.
Here, I'll read it. You haven't.
Okay, so for suspending the rules, doesn't it also allow for the executive board to join in on the debate? I don't know the extent of that. My understanding is that someone can yield their time to exec at any point if they would like to speak. I can look more into that. I didn't consider that, members of the audience for suspending the rules, but I can look into it and let you know before this meeting is over. So thank you for that question. Is there any other ones before I pass it off to Jose? Yeah.
On the speaker's portion, does that just mean like anytime they're actively talking? Or does that mean like say if like read the minutes and I wanted to move like a future order all of a sudden like right where we are at, I could just interject whenever he takes a breath, or what does that mean?
Yes, sorry, I should clarify. So speaker's portion is basically whenever someone else has the floor. And there are, like I said, there are certain motions where you can and cannot interrupt whenever someone else has the floor. Very good question. Okay, thank you. Thanks, guys.
So that concludes open forum. Jonathan, are we good on the roll? All right, so now the minutes were sent out electronically. Were there any corrections that needed to be made? Seeing none, the minutes are approved. Now we'll move into the reports of our officers, starting with exec.
Great, well, y'all. Hope that y'all are all having a great Monday so far, coming off of that Auburn win against Ole Miss. Definitely hard fought, but a win is a win, and so we'll take it. So we're able to that. Just a few things from me tonight. One, COVID numbers continue to stay low. So as of the week of October 8th, we saw 11 COVID cases campus-wide. So really great to see those numbers continuing to stay down. So continue to follow those safety protocols so we can remain on campus and keep things the way that they are, if not better. Tomorrow, the Office of Inclusion and Diversity has a community and conversation event, and that will be hosted by Dr. Tabby Clayton, who's the Associate Vice Provost for Office of Inclusion and Diversity, as well as Coach Bruce Pearl, who's our head coach of the basketball team, or men's basketball team, excuse me. So they're going to be hosting various student leaders and different student organizations alongside the basketball team in the Auburn Arena tomorrow afternoon to have a conversation about inclusion, diversity, equity, and all the different things that have come so much to the forefront over the last several months. So really excited about that event. I will drop the link in the Zoom chat for y'all to RSVP if you would like to attend, because you do have to RSVP due to COVID guidelines, but wanted to share that opportunity with y'all. And finally, as many of you know, one of our big executive goals this year is the Mental Health Task Force. And as a part of that task force, we are currently trying to collect student feedback about some different initiatives that we may or may not adopt depending on how students feel about that type of programming. So I know Auburn Answers polls can be kind of tricky to reach through the Auburn Answers website. So I just wanted to share my screen really fast and give y'all a very, very quick tutorial. Can everybody see my screen? Perfect. Okay, so you just log in with your AU credentials. I might already, yes, so took me straight there. I'm a member on the website, so I'll go to Submitter Home. So this should be the page that most of you see. As you can see, we have a lot of different specific areas that students continually have a vested interest in, but we're gonna scroll all the way down to the bottom where we get to polls. We'll just click take a poll. You'll see our mental health resources poll right there. And it's about 5 questions long and takes literally less than 5 minutes to do. So I need every single one of you to fill it out. I need you to get all of your constituents to fill it out and various people on your teams to fill it out. It's really important that we have that data specifically from students as we start to evaluate that type of programming and come up with some early recommendations for the mental health task force. But really excited to see y'all's costumes, and I'll introduce execs. So some of you might have heard the running joke that exec every year gets the opportunity to put out fires. And normally it's about 5 or 6 small to medium fires, but as you know, we've gotten an infinite amount of extra large fires this year. So we are firefighters. So this is my firefighter costume. All of exec has the same shirts. So we are more than happy to put out fires and serve and promote and unify the individual student this year, particularly alongside all of y'all and your various teams. We couldn't do it without y'all. So thanks for helping us put out fires, and I hope y'all have a great meeting tonight. Thanks, y'all.
Hey y'all, so the first thing is that ring night invitations have gone out, and so if any of your friends ordered a ring, please let them know that they need to go on AU Involved and RSVP to that event so we can make sure that our head count is not too high and to make sure that no students are in too close proximity with each other. But we're super excited for that event. And next we had our financial literacy seminar, as many of you guys may know, on this past Wednesday. And we had a really great turnout, and we're super happy with that first part of the launch. And moving forward, the modules and EverApply educational aspect is going to be rolling out on the website. And with that, I just ask you all to take the time to tell your constituents about it, and maybe ask around if there's any professors that would be interested in hosting a seminar for their organization or their class. Please tell them to go to the website or reach out to me. So we're excited. Thanks, y'all.
Okay, hey y'all, I kind of have a lot, but I'll go ahead and get started. So the first thing that I wanted to share is information about the Transformation Garden. So Dr. Lane with the Department of Horticulture and Mr. Glenn with Campus Dining are working towards this Transformation Garden. And so it's across from the South Quad parking deck, or that's where it's going to be right now. You'll see like old row crop like fields pretty much. So you might have seen cotton in that area right now. So it's going to be 16 acres, I believe, and it's going to start kind of across from the South Quad parking deck and go towards the art museum. And it's just going to be really awesome for students like mental health, sustainability, as well as dining. This is going to be about a 2-year project that they're going to be working on, but they're going to have like these growing crates that they can grow crops 52 weeks out of the year, so all year long. And so those are going to be delivered in January, so we're really excited about it. There's going to be a walking path that goes from the Arboretum all the way to Town Creek Park. It's going to be like the connection. So just a really cool project, y'all. They're going to start raising funds for it, so you'll see lots of information from that. The next thing is Donate a Dollar is going on right now until November 19th. You can go to War Eagle supply stores across campus and donate a dollar. So like tonight, I went and bought a water bottle and I was like, hey, I want to donate a dollar too. Super easy. Please follow your friends. It does go to Feed the Family Fund in the Office of Auburn Cares for students to have meal swipes here on campus. But it also counts as £2. Every dollar counts as £2 for Deep Bone Food Drive. So you're helping out like 3 different groups at once. And it is an SGA initiative, and it's our 2nd year, so we want to continue the Donate a Dollar campaign. The next thing is Election Day is coming up, and something that we have worked really hard with John Andre and Parking Transportation, as well as Lyft, is going to be a program called Ride to the Polls. You're going to be able to have that $10 credit, and it's going to count as your 25 rides for the month like normal, but you're going to be able to ride to your voting location here in Auburn and back home. So that coupon, like the code for this is Auburn Votes. It's going to run from 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. on Election Day. You should receive an email from Parking Transportation in the near future, but know that we are going to help promote this as well. So when that marketing material is sent to us, we just ask that y'all share it on your social media as well. So stay tuned for that, and it's a really awesome program because this is something that we've never had done in the past. The next thing is we have worked with the Dean of the Library to have testing hang tags for study rooms. So I know a couple of students have had disruptions while study rooms, maybe like their friend passes and sees that you're in the study room and knocks on the door, or maybe like your study room's messed up but you're still in the middle of the test. So you can just go to any circulation desk in the library and pick up one of these hang tags that says testing in progress, do not disturb. And you don't have to check it out, it's just like a little paper hang tag that hangs on the doorknob of your study room, and you can throw it away or you can keep it for your next test. So super excited about these. I know it just helps the testing experience this semester. So the next thing is Mental Wealth Week is November 2nd through the 6th. This is something that Active Minds puts on, but SGA and our health and wellness team helps tremendously. So just if you see me post about Mental Wealth Week, please support it. If there's anything that you can attend in supporting it, please do so. The next thing is shaker distribution. It's Friday at 3 p.m. Super excited. LSU game. It's going to be pretty great. Pearson is going to go ahead and send that link in the chat to sign up. And then as well as it'll be in the recap email from Paige. I know sometimes you read over email, so we wanted to go ahead and send that out so you can go and sign up. So this Friday at 3 p.m. Super fun experience. The next thing is if you have any academic feedback, please feel free. We're still sending those reports to Julie Huff in the provost office every Friday. So if you can just get that feedback to me by Wednesday. Once again, my email is sjl0023. Would love like any feedback y'all have. And then the last thing is I just want to reiterate the mental health task force poll that is on Auburn Answers right now. This is something, it is one of our 8 exec goals, and it's really important to us, and we want to get programming for y'all. So please fill out the poll and recommend all your friends who really need that feedback by like Wednesday or Thursday. So thank y'all so much.
Hey y'all, so Lobby Board is having Learn to Lobby Day on November 5th, and so this event is really centered around the Lobby Board members learning how to be effective lobbyists, and so they'll have a panel of state legislators as well as governmental affairs specialists who are going to teach them all about lobbying and all about the state of Alabama. Abby Robson has been able to resume city council reports, and so that's really exciting that, you know, Auburn University and Auburn SGA now have that presence back in the city council Zoom room, but we're really glad to be back with that. Lobby Board also had Representative Danny Garrett come as a speaker on Thursday, and he's very involved in the State House. He's in leadership, and so it was really nice for them to get to hear from him. I don't know if y'all heard, but there is a mental health Auburn Answers poll that you should take. And then finally, the Aubie team is hosting Aubie Claws, and they're looking for volunteers, and so Hayes will send that
I'm going to give Landon's update for him really quick. So there will be a Google form with an actual size, order and placement, as well as proofs with the 2 color options for the Comfort Color SGA sweatshirts. And we'll send that out in the recap email. And there will also be times to drop off cash or check this week. Mental wellness. The literal reason Landon isn't here, I'm reading off his text. The literal reason Landon isn't here right now is because he is working with his AVPs on materials for next week. So make sure you're sending him any materials you might need. And on top of another promo, we will be doing student leader testimonials and a video breaking the stigma surrounding mental health. So if mental health is a passion of anyone's or they're willing to share their story, please contact Landon by tomorrow. So that concludes our exec officer reports, and now we'll move into reports of our colleges, starting with at large.
Sullivan at large. So Diamond just released like MAU this week. Target kind of bounces that every student should be at if they want to use all their money by the end of the semester, which I thought was really cool because a lot of people are really concerned about using all their money. So if you have the on-campus plan, which is 1,100, you should be at 279. And if you have the 350 plan, which is like off-campus, then you should be at 89,000. So that's just kind of good for everyone to know. And then also, MIB is hosting the Women of Distinction Awards on Zoom at 6 on Wednesday, and then after the Women of Distinction Awards, there's going to be like TED Talks, and these are great like TED Talks, which is cool. And that's all we have.
Agriculture.
Joel, agriculture. No report on this week, but kind of back to last week's event we held on campus. We had over 80% of our clubs come out and set up booths, talk to students, and with a lot of them gaining new members. So that went well.
Business.
Wagner Business. So for college business this week, we have a feedback event. It's going to be happening next week. We don't really know the time or the date yet, but I'll get back to you on Monday so you have time to prepare. And it will be happening in the courtyard right between Louder and Horton Hargrave Hall. Next up is next week, Business Council is meeting with Dean Ramp to kind of convey student feedback that they've been gathering over the past couple weeks. So last week, I believe it was, they met with, a big business council met with the people who run college of businesses social media just to work on like kind of coming up with a way to integrate and like kind of align their interests so that it's like everybody posting the same stuff because there's 2 separate accounts before. And the last thing is we're beginning our freshman pre-business program pretty soon. But I'll tell y'all more about what that entails in the future. And they're meeting with Jan Moffer, who's the head of the OPCD in the business school next week. I think it's on Friday, just to get to kind of hear her thoughts on all that. So thank you.
Cassie.
Bush, not Castle. Cassie. I had a meeting with Cassie's liaison to student counseling and psychological services today, and the assistant dean. We came up with the idea to have 1 to 2 mental health days in the spring, wherein students can come to relax, eat good food, most importantly, hear a presentation that's tailored to stress points that expressed through surveys and feedback. Before today, I personally didn't know that each of our colleges have specific liaisons with experience in our respective industries. Therefore, I encourage you all to seek out yours and connect him or her with your school's council to better reach your constituents. Thank you.
Co-Sam.
Callahan Co-Sam. So last week, I guess one of the biggest things I did was on Wednesday I went and collected even more feedback in addition to the survey that I had about how the hours of the library have been affecting people, just in preparation for my meeting with Hayes on last Thursday, which was like 10 o'clock. And I sent it in a group meet, but it ended up going really, really well. And if anything, I think it speaks to the fact, and I was telling Hayes this earlier, that they truthfully had so little idea about many of the concerns that I had brought up and weren't aware that the issues that I posed were even issues for students. And all it took was just us setting up one meeting and letting them know those things that I had just been told before. And it worked. So that starts next week, right, Hayes? Not this week. And it's open till 2 a.m. So definitely tell everybody about that. And I think they'll be seeing an email next week as well. Thank you.
Education.
Living education, not a ton going on in private education, but they are having our virtual trivia night next week, and our schools council should be sending out an email sometime in the next couple days. I can get more information about that.
Engineering.
Block engineering. So good news, after passing along feedback to the college, Brown Copel's hours have been extended from 8 o'clock p.m. to 10 o'clock. So it's 2 extra hours starting November 8th. So that's really awesome. That's Katie Hardy, manager of building for that. Our schools council has a cool project starting that just launched called partnering with the Engineering Young Alumni Council. So any graduate of the College of Engineering in the past 10 years has an opportunity to mentor current students that are juniors and seniors. So that's really cool. And STEM Visitation Day is on October 28th.
Forestry and wildlife sciences.
Well, forestry and wildlife sciences. So we don't have a lot going on right now, but I was able to talk to a few constituents during office hours, and it was just interesting to see like how like adversity has affected people education.
Grad school. Senator Baratine, are you still on the call? Yes. Grad school.
Hey, this is Senator Barrington, grad school. This afternoon we had an OPT and a career development seminar for graduate students that are in the process of graduating. Tomorrow, 3&T is going to be conducted there in the student center there, ballroom A on the 3rd floor. And from 10:45 to 3:45, come by and see the competition. It should be pretty entertaining. And then on Wednesday we have a graduate student council Senate meeting at 7 p.m. We got a link there in the Facebook page, anybody that's interested in sitting in it.
Human sciences.
May, Human Sciences. So the College of Human Sciences is still working on a big social media push, highlighting students and their work to try to just get the whole college interactive together. Recently wrapped up the collaboration with Auburn's Hunger Awareness Week, finishing up interviews for the Ambassadors Program, and then looking forward to sharing information with you all next week about the International Quality of Life Awards, which will take place in December.
Liberal arts.
McElroy, CLA. They don't have a ton going on this week, but today from 3 to 4 we had our community engagement conversation, which went off well.
Nursing.
Nobles Nursing. I just quickly wanted to commend our Auburn School of Nursing Wellness Committee. They hosted their first event on Sunday. It's a new club that started this semester, and they had a great turnout. And they had like a pumpkin painting event, provided snacks and just community, and allowed some students to meet the professors that we haven't had the chance to meet yet. So that went really well.
Pharmacy.
Baylor Pharmacy. Hopefully we will be having our current position and bylaws coming as we consider very soon.
And vet med.
Sure, VetMed. I just have one thing to share. We have a virtual career connector on November 11th from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Thank you.
All right, so now we'll move into reports of our committees. And so committee chairs, when you give your report, if you just want to say what your costume is after your report, and then everybody in your committee, y'all can just stand up so we can make sure we see everybody's costume. So we'll start out with academic affairs.
Saville Engineering. Okay, so from academic affairs, first of all, I wanted to share with y'all our update on the grade forgiveness program. We have decided to shift it to more of an adjustment of the GAT program, so that it would include C's, D's, and F's instead of just C's and F's, and that the first GPA would not be factored in at all, but there would only be one GPA. Instead of having a GAP and ungap, you just have the one GPA without the first attempt in there. And so we would be looking at changing the name of GAP to Grade Forgiveness Program as well to better reflect that. So that's being approved, and we're talking to administrators about that and working on refining that. So good work to resolve this. Brian has begun work on a resolution, and he's kind of gathering the feedback that we had so far about the academic experience and kind of putting that together so that we can get that to the right people and get it in a resolution. Our Auburn Answers poll is still coming out, so be on the lookout for that in the next few days. We'll see. And our diversity and equity and inclusion in the classroom poll is also still in the works, so be on the lookout for that. We've been speaking to Barrett and his team about our lunch resolution as well, and they have finished putting together a statement to go in the syllabi, which is being approved, and him and Abby Ingram are joining our committee meeting on Wednesday to talk about that further and get that resolution in the works. And as for our Halloween costume, I am Minerva McGonagall. Brian is Dumbledore. We've got Hermione and Cedric and Ron and Draco.
Hey, we need to stand up.
Yeah, come on. Let's all need to give it a try. So.
All right, budget and finance.
Wagner Business. This week for budget and finance, we had 4 COVID transfer requests, 2 SAPs. The first was student media, who overall requested $1,550.00. 1,000 of that is going to go to student media Weagle 91.1 for publicity. The other 550 is going to student media Weagle 91.1 for memberships and subscriptions. All of that is less than their approved amount, so it all was approved by us this week. And then the next one is BSU, who overall requested $250. 150 of that is being used for special activities events, fall forum, for food and beverages. The other $100 of that is being used for special activity events, general assembly supplies. So all of those are approved pretty seamlessly. The amounts had already been, verified and approved, but they were below what was originally approved by all of us in Senate. As for carryover requests, we've got like 3 or 4 right now. They're all going to be due this Wednesday, 28th, I believe. So we might get a few more of those in, and then after Wednesday, we're going to be one-on-one with each person who submitted a carryover request and kind of figure out what that is and try to approve it for them. Next up is we have a $500 RFR, which is a reserve fund request coming through exec on Thursday. Basically, just to refresh y'all's memory, a reserve fund request is a one-time dip into the reserve fund to like cover an expense that was unforeseen. So this one is coming for student media, for ADM. It's going to cover shirts and name tags. And this is just because they accepted more people into the group, in the organization, than they thought they would, just based off a really great pool of applicants. Just a reminder for y'all, we meet Fridays at 1 p.m. on Zoom. This is for anyone who's ever interested in seeing what we do, or you got something you want to say, or maybe we can work between other committees on different things. And as for Halloween costumes, we are all lunch lady Dwayne The Rock Johnson. So everybody can stand out, but yeah, the good old picture where he's like getting this. Yeah, close it in. Thank you guys.
Code of laws.
So then at
Costume. Costume.
Oh,
Costume queen.
sorry. Okay, so my community stand up. Y'all guess what we are? I don't think we can. Yeah. 2020. So like, you can't really see, but Kyla has a mustache on it. She's like very exotic, and then Grandma's what? Oh, y'all can say it. Grandpa's birthday. Pat's COVID. I'm Zoom, and then Gavin is the ball. Kobe is on.
Oh no. You were walking to the finish line for the trophy.
I know.
All right. Diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Hello. Okay, so I'll do costumes first because we got a presentation. So we decided to be exec. My name is Landon McNellich. I already know, creative, communication, marketing. We got Vice President Cassie right here. And then we have Miss Edward Company President over there. And then we have Sir James right here. Yes, and then Michael Bennett is in the back. And then we have Madison, I think she's on the screen. She's Caroline Willoughby, Department of Treasury. Let's keep Madison, let's keep. Okay, now I'm going to step in as the person. So over the last couple of weeks, we've been meeting with student affairs to just kind of figure out what we can promote to make sure that the student environment isn't really hostile as it was in 2016 after the election. We know that that's kind of what happens a lot of different times. We know that election can be a very divisive time. So trying to figure out and create a campaign that can kind of center around respect and what that means. And so, what it is. So Going Beyond Respect is just an Auburn University campaign designed to expand students' minds while creating a more welcoming and inclusive campus in general. And so there are kind of two kind of partners to this. The first one is just to be kind, to try one another's perspective, to understand someone else's lived experiences, acknowledge mistakes and apologize sincerely, and be patient with yourself. Personal growth is a process. And so one of these things, the biggest thing that I feel like is the takeaway, is that whenever it comes to diversity, equity, inclusion, and things like that, none of us have all the answers. None of us will ever have all the answers. It's being patient with ourselves and knowing that we don't have the answers and just trying to make sure that we're getting better day by day. And then the second one is to be courageous. Get curious, challenge your thinking, listen, understand, not respond. Hear what others have to say, even if it makes you uncomfortable. Don't be afraid to ask for clarification when needed, and be present and engage in conversation. This is also super important whenever it comes to political conversations. They can be hard, they can be disengaging. You might not know everything that you need to know about the topic. So just stay updated, make sure you're doing your own research, and make sure you're just in tune with what's going on. So I'll kind of open the floor up. If y'all can come to the mic or stand up, or don't even have to do that. But what does respect kind of mean to y'all in general?
Callahan, Sam, respect to me is when you can acknowledge that somebody's opinion doesn't encompass everything about them. That you can look forward and past that ideology, maybe see some other aspect of them.
Thank you very much, Sam Callahan. One more, anybody want to go?
Bush, Cassie. Respect to me is when you have a conversation about politics, especially this year, is when you don't look down on others who may not know as much as you do. And it definitely goes both ways. Just not making other parties feel inferior, because it's kind of hard to get all the information today, especially with just kind of how how media is now. But just being respectful that people may not know as much as you do. Thank you.
Thanks, Vice President Hayes. All right, we'll go to the next. You go to the next one.
Pearson.
Sorry. So, why should student leaders take the lead? Why is this SGA initiative? Why does this come back to us? Why is this something that we're trying to promote? Why is this something that we're trying to pass the message on in general? So we set the culture. Auburn can only be as safe of a space as we hope to be. So as members of student organizations, we create the space in our organizations, our friend groups, our sororities, our fraternities, other places and positions where we hold the opportunity to influence. It's going to be up to us at the end of the day to keep open a safe space. We know what happens. We can set as many rules and regulations, but what are you going to do when you're in your room and someone says something offensive? One of your friends, are you going to have a conversation about it, or are you just going to ignore it? What are you going to do when a song comes on at a Halloween party and the N-word is said? Are you going to confront the person if they're close to you? Are you going to strike the conversation? What are you going to do in those spaces? Those are the times that student leaders need to step up. We can say what we want inside these rooms and inside these four walls, or however many, yeah, four walls. Anyway, we can say whatever we want inside of this room, but the change really starts when we go outside, when we go to our fraternities and sororities, when we go to these parties, to these places, and things like that. And the second one that I am kind of really passionate about is that at the end of the day, family protects family. And so it's not even just our constituents, but our own family. There are people that really want to be here, and so we need to take the responsibility to protect and advocate for them, whether it's a political season, whether they agree and disagree with us politically or not. It's our job to make sure that they feel safe and welcome here. And so, kind of wrapping it up, how can SGA serve and promote individual student unifying all that is Auburn during such a divisive time? So these are just a couple of takeaways. Listen to understand, not to respond. Encourage the hard conversation. Stand with minoritized students who are fearful. Be aware of what's happening throughout the nation. If y'all are anything like me, watching the news just does nothing for you. And so maybe read an article, maybe read the legislation that they're passing. I don't know, maybe it'll help us with Robert's rule. Anyway, last, lead by example. It's going to be us that kind of, like I said, at first, and I said over and over again, it's going to be us that takes the charge on this. And so these graphics will be coming through. I'll make sure to drop them in the center of your chat. Kevin's going to be sharing them as well. Just put them on your store over the next couple of days. Also, I don't know the office hour thing. Okay. They're also going to be on the concourse Wednesday and Thursday. And so from 11 to 1, if you need an office hour, you just go out there and kind of promote this, talk about it. We're going to have whiteboards out there, and it'll be something like, what does respect mean to you in one word, or something like that. And so as students pass by, they'll slap a sticky note of what respect means to them. And so you're just out there monitoring, get a conversation with students, see what they're scared about, things like that. So that's all that I have on that. If y'all have any questions, just text me. But also with DEI committee in general. So one thing that we have kind of seen is that it just makes it easier for DEI to kind of do the roles that a lot of other committees do when we're the DEI committee. And so what you'll be seeing in the next couple of weeks is someone from DEI coming into your student affairs meetings, your academic affairs meeting, your code of laws meeting, budget and finance meeting, to see the DEI work that can happen there. And then they'll report back to us, and we'll see maybe if that structure works better. And so if there's anything that y'all want to work on that's DEI related, you'll have a representative that's in your committee that you can talk to specifically about that. That's all. That's all I got. Thanks, guys.
Next, we have student affairs. I know Stephen is not here, but did anybody have a report for student affairs? All right, well, we'll move on to exec committee.
Weasley, Gryffindor. Just like I was saying, it's actually kind of office hour. So if you ever have a question about office hour, you know, something that counts, just shoot me a text, email, call, whatever. I'll be happy to answer. As for me, per usual, office hour is due at 7:30. So make sure if you haven't done those yet to get those in, because I will be checking those right after this. Exec, we are meeting in person. So if you want to come in person, you're more than welcome to. Just let me know, so I can reserve you a spot. But if not, the Zoom option is also available. And then, of course, if you have any absences, excuses for absences, shoot those my way. Get those voted on. Any questions? Thanks, guys.
All right, that concludes the reports of our standing committees. Now we'll move into reports of our special committees and liaisons, starting with our freshman committee.
Freshman committee. We do not have any reports, but I do want to say that we feel very lucky to even be in the same room with you guys. So, you know, as we continue learning, we thank So, so I'm Shaggy and then, yep.
Now we'll move into reports of our liaisons, starting with BSU.
Well, sir, BSU. So I just have one thing for you guys. Last Tuesday we had our fall forum. The title was The New Jim Crow. We had around 30 participants online and 30 participants in person. And we talked about things such as the Black Lives Matter movement and the intersectionality of being Black and LGBTQ plus. It was a really great event. Yeah, that's all I have for you guys. Thanks.
And Honors College.
So hey everyone, just a quick update from me. On Sunday, the Honors Congress held our second movie night, and Ghostbusters was the movie that we watched this time for the Halloween theme. And now we're focusing on our next fundraiser, which is the Taco Mama Spirit Night, which is going to be held November 9th from 4 to 9:30.
And Student Veterans.
Hello, y'all. How y'all doing? So I was not tracking the costume thing, so I didn't wear a costume. But as far as student veterans, so as you know, the holidays are coming up, and we have some boxes coming in for Toys for Tots. Our goal is to do 3,000 toys for children in Lee County. We're going to start by having one at the Veterans Resource Center in Floyd Hall. If you guys want one for your department or your organization, just send me an email and I'll forward it to our point of contact for the boxes. And also, not sure, well, I'm sure you guys have seen it the past couple of years, our Iron Ruck for the Iron Bowl, that is to raise awareness for veteran suicide. So basically, we have a list of things that we usually collect for the ruck itself, and then whatever's left over, we donate it to veterans in Tuskegee who are in need of things, you know, like wipes, canned foods, things like that. We give it to like the homeless shelter over there in Tuskegee that's for veterans. If you guys want to know, if you want to receive like a list of some of the things that we need, just shoot me an email and I'll send a copy to you guys, and just to kind of spread the word about getting those donations for the veterans that are in need for that. And that's all I have for you guys.
So now we'll move into our current orders of business. And the only bill on the docket for current orders is PSSB 2010-2601, Program Expansion Fund request regarding alternative student breaks leadership training service programs. This bill is brought to you by Senator O'Brien.
O'Brien Engineering. Okay, so I kind of explained this last week, but I'm going to revisit it. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so it says, ask the business the following, the amount of $5,000 to be allocated to service programs as a permanent expense fund to the sub-line item regular training and leadership training line item. Foundation of this line item will allow for staff members and students to present alternative student breaks scheduled with staff and other departments and or an annual alternative break schedule including for members of leadership. So, once again, this is just going to be a request for alternative student breaks, which is add a sub-line item under their leadership training line item. And so they're requesting $5,000, and this money will be allocated to two separate conferences that they hope to attend. Whether COVID is still an issue or not. So, yeah.
Sage, do we have a motion?
Yes, is there any debate?
No. Sage, you will need to make a motion.
Okay. I motion to pass the bill as written.
I moved to pass, so that's great, excuse me.
Seeing there's a second, is there any debate? Seeing none, we'll move into a vote. All in favor of passing this bill as written, please say aye and click the green check mark. All opposed, please say no and click the red X. I think we're waiting on a couple more. The ayes have it, and this bill has passed. So that concludes our current orders of business. Now we'll move into future orders of business, starting with PSSB 2011-02-01, 2021 COVID-19 SGA and Miss Auburn election policy. This bill is brought to you by Senator Sullivan.
Sullivan at large. So I kind of talked about this earlier, but basically it's the same bill he kind of already passed in his homecoming, but it's just for us in Auburn. We really are hoping that if elections in the spring can be as similar as to what they normally are, but you
Other than that, I will turn it over to Pearson, and we will then deliberate to decide who wins the costume contest.
Well, before deliberation, also front table dressed up tonight. So, Jonathan, show us what you are, and here's also for the people on Zoom.
So I'm Mario. Yeah.
I'm the blue shell.
I'm the yellow, like, mystery box.
Great, so while Hayes, I think, deliberates, I'll deliver the advisor's 3-pointers for tonight. Pull those up. So for tonight's advisor's 3-pointers, one to talk about voting and just the ways to practice civic engagement along with civic civility. And so I want to make sure each of y'all knows about voting resources and has the information that y'all need if you have yet to vote. So first, you do have 3 more days to in-person absentee voting in Lane County. So that can be done at the courthouse in Opelika. There's the address, and then there's the hours that will be open for the next 3 days. So we'll send all this out as well. And then also on election day, which is next Tuesday, it's important that if you do vote then that you know where to vote, and that can be done by typing in your address to the website listed there. Also learning what forms of identification are accepted, and you can find that through that link, and also viewing your sample ballot beforehand so you can research all the candidates that are running for various offices and really be an informed voter. The last point is just vote. Truly, each of us has a great opportunity to speak into the political process, and realized earlier this could be some of y'all's first opportunities to vote in the presidential election. And so just making sure that we are doing our civic duty and voting, and just creating a safe and welcoming environment for all students throughout that process. So thank y'all for that.
So I have formulated a winner, and there will be 2 award winners tonight. The first winner for most well done costume, so like they just did the costume well in the right way, was the freshman committee. Theirs is the best done. So your prize is that y'all can now be on committees. So no, I'm kidding. We will come up with a prize, but then also I wanted to give an award for the most creative costume, and that goes to Code of Laws Committee. They would have run away with the competition if without Senator Sullivan's Kobe Bryant blunder, but. All right. Does anybody have anything else? Last comments? All right. With that, this meeting is adjourned.